Welcome to The Sky's the Limit. I'm Linda Scott, and I'm here with Tom Mattis today at the Goodyear Blimp Air Station in Carson. We're going to go up in the blimp and take a tour of California. Well, Carson anyway.
Carson.
Tom, how long have you been a blimp pilot?
Half of my life. I'm 32 years old and half of my life. No, I've been flying for 26 years now with Goodyear.
How did you get started? It seems so exciting. Everybody would love to go up and do what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I always wanted to fly. When I was younger, I owned an airplane. In fact, I owned an airplane before I had a license. I bought it in a basket, and I had to put it back together and learn to fly. It was a basket case, yeah. And I was around a lot of people who flew. Different fellows who flew for the airline, so this was the talk of the day, and this way I could learn from these people and who was hiring, and I flew for a couple corporations, and Goodyear was the last corporation that I ended up with, and I've been here 26 years.
Tell me, Tom, what makes a blimp work? How does it get up in the sky?
You know, of course, a blimp, the main source of lift is the helium inside. With this size blimp here, we can lift approximately 12,000 pounds. The hardware the craft is made out of weighs 9,000, so we can put 3,000 pounds and lift it only with the helium inside. Now also it's flowing through the air like an airplane, and we can generate another 800 pounds of dynamic lift by moving it through the air, generated from the front curvature of the bag and the tail section. So there's two different sources of lift, the helium inside and the mere movement of the craft through the air.
I first saw your picture in Private Pilot magazine, and I've been seeing photos and articles about you in every paper everywhere. Tell me some of the people you've taken up on the blimp.
Well, we do a wide variety of different things. We do a lot of television, sporting events, make movies, do commercials. We work with the media. We had movie stars, sports celebrities. 2 days ago, I had Davis Gans from Phantom of the Opera, Bob Hope, Johnny Cash. We travel different parts of the country. We run the circuit, the golf circuit. We go up to Pebble Beach, San Diego. We just got back from Phoenix. We did the Valvoline 200 race, the same race car drivers that were at the Long Beach Grand Prix race. We televised that race down in Long Beach. This summer we're going up to Canada, Vancouver, Canada. We'll be up there for 3 weeks, Seattle, Portland. So we get to travel around the country, and by doing this we meet a wide variety of different people.
What sporting events do you cover?
We do the golf tournaments. We go down to San Diego, up to Pebble Beach. We do the Bob Hope out in the desert, Palm Springs, also the Dinah Shore. Then we get into the baseball season. We do the baseball. And football is big, Monday Night Football. We do a lot of college games on Saturday. Auto racing, we just finished the Long Beach Grand Prix race. We televised that. So we do a wide variety of different sporting events.
How far can you go in the blimp?
Well, we travel in the summertime, usually starting in June. We go on what we call tour. We tour the country. As a rule, we usually go up and down the West Coast. We go up to the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland area, and then we go up Portland, Seattle. This year we're going up to Vancouver, Canada. We'll be up there for approximately a month. The other airships out of Pompano Beach, Florida, they usually go up the East Coast, up through New York, Maine, and of course the one out of Akron covers the Midwest. Although there's nothing saying that we would not, if there was an event that would require 2 blimps, we might go back to New York if there was an event big enough. I remember when the Olympics were here in Los Angeles, we had another blimp, Goodyear blimp, come out, and we had 2 blimps right here at the field. We worked with security, and the other blimp worked with Wide World of Sports. So we were both flying the same day for the same event. So it depends on what event's happening that year.
What would you recommend to someone interested in becoming a blimp pilot?
Well, the qualifications for a blimp pilot when I started, and I believe they're still the same, they want a commercial instrument rating in an airplane, commercial instrument multi-engine rating in an airplane, plus college, and then they would go from there to train the person to fly the blimp. In other words, he'd become a student after he got these ratings in an airplane, a student to fly the blimp. And after that, he would have to have 200 hours of training by Goodyear before they would let him fly passengers.
Everybody I know would just love to be a blimp pilot. Have you ever given anyone that opportunity just for an afternoon?
Yeah, I have. Every once in a while, especially if I have a friend that flies, I let him in a seat and go through the motions, push the pedals. Of course, we're 1,000 feet in the air where there's nothing hard to hit. They lift the craft up as high as they can, and everyone takes their hands off, and the rate at which it falls back down to the ground, the crew chief out there can determine how heavy it is from the neutral buoyant condition. Now they'll bring it down to the ground, and when I get it up on high, I'll throw full power here.
Oh, hi. What a great trip. I have had a great time. I don't remember ever having so much fun. This has been fabulous.
You think you got it all figured out now?
Well, you know, I didn't tell you I wasn't that great of a driver. You know, I can barely drive a car, and he let me like pilot the blimp. I think I should have warned you, but you took it
kept
quite
going
well.
higher and higher. You got a little ground shy there. We were up to about 2,000 feet, and apparently if we got any higher, we'd have to get nosebleeds. Huh?
You mean we could have gotten higher?
We could have gotten higher, but you
I
can't
like
see anything.
that
There you go.
feeling. I mean, being above the clouds and just, you know, actual takeoff was really exhilarating. All of a sudden, we were just like right up there.
We got to get up quick. We get over the freeway here, at least 500 feet before we cross the freeway. This way the people don't look up and bang into each other. So we drag it across the freeway. We're really a menace. Right now we're getting ready to go up the night side. They're loading
you're going
electronic
up for another
equipment.
flight?
Well, this flight will go up till 10 o'clock just with electronic technician and a pilot.
And all of this will be lit?
Yeah, there's 7,260 light bulbs on the side. You want us to put your name and lights here?
Yes, could you?
What would you like us to say here?
Scot-free.
Scot-free.
Scot-free Productions presents Tom Mattis, his name in lights.
Oh, I thought you wanted your name.
Well, your name will be there, but mine will be above the title.
Oh,
your
okay.
name will be flashing.
This will really set it off.
Mine will be like very, you know, subtle, and
You'll be the subtitle, huh? You can see there's no, well, you can't see, there's no framework inside the blimp. It's just one big balloon filled with helium gas. The internal pressure maintains the shape of the bag. That's why you see the scoops right here and back of the props. We pick up ram air from the prop, blow it through the scoops to fill one of two air cells. And when the helium gas contracts, we inflate these air cells to compensate for the gas contracting. And the gas will contract as you go up and down in altitude or up and down in temperature. When it gets hotter, the gas expands. When you go up in altitude, the gas expands. Then we vent air out of these air cells. You can see the plungers right here. That vents air out. Put the air back in. We pick up ram air off the prop and blow through the scoops. So it's nothing but a pressure airship. The internal pressure maintains the shape of the bag.
Give me an idea of what they're doing right now.
Yeah, right now we're putting all electronic equipment in. He's starting the engines right now. We're ready to come off the pole. You can see up top here, the only point of attachment is the nose. And the craft is free to swing 360 degrees, whichever way the wind's blowing. Just the least little bit of wind, this thing will weather vane into the wind. It's the most expensive windsock. At airports, pilots like it because they can look down at 1,000 feet, they can see the blimp, and they can tell which way the wind's blowing by which way it's pointing. Just 2 or 3 mile an hour wind, it'll weather vane or turn into the wind. Now this guy here will be climbing up the pole and he has to release the latch. And then we'll back off out on the field and they'll actually weigh the craft out in the field before he takes off. And we'll go through that after he gets out. Now you can see there's a ball on the top, in the center of the blimp, and the cup is he'll have to pull the pin and throw a latch to release the ball, and then the ship will come out of the cup and be free to float away. The pilot here, as you can see, he'll give the ground crew the signal to release that he's ready to come off the pole. And then the crew chief will look up at the guy on top of the pole to tell him to break away. And he'll give this man right here the signal. When he gets the signal, he'll look up top of the pole to give the guy on top of the pole the signal to release the latch. He'll yell, he gives him the thumbs up. The pilot will tell him, gave him the signal, he gave him the signal here. He throws the latch and the blimp starts coming away from the pole because the pilot has reverse pitching on the props. Now what they'll do, they'll back off here, clear of the mooring pole about 50 feet, and they'll actually weigh the craft. You can see the crew chief signaling with his hands to stop the backward motion. Well, his mention is that his little bit of tail heavy. In other words, he got too much air in the tail section of the craft, and he wants the craft level. Now, he mentions for the ground crew around the car to lift the craft up as high as they can. Then he tells everyone to take their hands off. Everyone takes their hands off the hand railing, and at the rate at which it falls back down to the ground, he can determine how heavy it is from a neutral buoyant condition. When it floats, we know it's neutral buoyant, and we adjust the weight by taking these 25-pound shot bags out or putting shot bags in, depending on the static condition of the craft. They're going to weigh it off again. They lift it up as high as they can. Everyone takes their hands off, and the rate at which it falls back down to the ground, the crew chief can determine how heavy it is from neutral, from weighing 0 or being buoyant. His mentioning that his 5 bags heavy, in other words, is 125 pounds heavy, each bag weighing 25 pounds apiece. He mentions with his fingers how many bags heavy he is from a neutral buoyant condition. Then you saw the electronic technician jump in, and he's going to go flying about 200 or about 300 pounds heavier than neutral buoyant. To do it in that weight configuration, we have to back the craft up almost to the end of the fence, and he has to roll it off like an airplane. The crew cannot throw or push it into the air with the craft being that heavy.
Right.
Now what he'll do, they'll back it up as far as they can, and when the pilot's ready, he'll give the signal for the crew chief for all the men around the car to clear the car. In other words, they run to the side, and the pilot will come on with power, and he'll roll it off like an airplane, raising the nose slightly, generating dynamic lift for a slight bit of lift, so that's why he'll fly it off like an airplane. To the side. Now the pilot will start coming on with power and holding the craft on the ground, just a little slight nose down attitude until he gains a little airspeed. You can see the main wheel still on the ground. Right about now, he'll raise the nose. And you see the craft become airborne. Nice having you, and I hope you got what you needed.
Oh, I
hope
got
to see you on
everything
TV soon.
and more. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Great, you're welcome.